Hey everybody. Okay, so I am finally getting around to doing a couple videos. I think I updated you guys once when she was 2.5 weeks, and again just a couple days ago when she was 6 weeks. So this video, I'm gonna try and make this as, quick to the point as possible. This is going to be my labor and delivery story. So, throughout the past, I think, month of my pregnancy, I was having really high blood pressure. So, they were testing for preeclampsia and constantly watching my blood pressure every time I came in, which I was coming in once a week. So, it wasn't getting any lower. It was actually getting higher every time. I have a blood pressure machine at home that my doctor tested, and it was accurate. And I always have had white coat syndrome. And so they thought, oh, it's just, being in the doctor's office. But then at home, I was getting the same readings. So, it was high at home. It was high at the doctor's office. It wasn't going down. And so she decided, the last time she saw me, I was 36 weeks and a couple days. And so they induced me Tuesday, she was born on the 24th, so must have been the 20th. Monday the 20th, May 20th? I think that's right. It was a Monday that she induced me. It was May 20th or 21st, something like that, at 6 p.m. So I was able to get a head start on packing my bags, making sure that the nursery was ready, just everything. And so I did a couple videos. I showed you guys the nursery or my room, and I did the hospital bag video, and I also did an update, and I told you guys her name also. So that was the day before I went into the hospital. Got into the hospital 6 p.m. They set me up in my room, and then this is when it all started. So what happened was, and I wish I could remember the name of the medication, and maybe it'll come to me. They were inserting a pill with a string on it inside of me, and what it happens is it releases. It's supposed to soften your cervix and start labor, so that they can start Pitocin, which I didn't want to have, but when you're getting induced, you pretty much don't have a choice. And it was either that or a C-section. So I was like, no, I really don't want a C-section. Let's just go for the induction. So they put the pill in. I mean, as soon as I practically got there, it was I don't even know. I think I had been there for an hour maybe, and then the pill was inserted, and they inserted an IV, but didn't hook up anything to it. I didn't want any fluids or anything running to it. I told them they could hook it up, but that's it. Took my blood pressure. It was high, of course. It was really high. And that's the whole process that started. People came to visit. They said hi. My doctor said, oh yeah, she'll be born by probably like Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. Right. So the pill sits in there for, I believe, 6 hours. You can't get up to do anything for the first hour or hour and a half. So I was just stuck there, sitting there. Then you can get up to pee and all that stuff. It's like having a tampon in, basically. Except it's a pill. She's making noises. Hopefully she doesn't wake up. They did that for 6 hours. Nothing. Like, they went to go check my cervix and nothing. And when they went to go check it, I was in a lot of pain when they checked it. Not just sitting there. I was fine just sitting there, but I was in a lot of pain when they checked it. Oh man. And just the fun just starts. And I don't even want to remember everything that happened, but I'm trying to bring it all back. I really tried to forget. So the pill was there, took it out, didn't do much. I think they said that I was dilated like 0.5 centimeter or something like that. So then they started a different pill, that you just insert, and then that's it. And then, you wait for that to start working. And it did. I think at that point, the second time around, I had finally started to dilate a little bit, and I was like a centimeter and a half. After that, my actual doctor came in and checked me. The nurses weren't even able to check my cervix. I was in so much pain from them even checking my cervix that I was just, I was like screaming practically. I wasn't, but I wanted to. And I think 2 nurses were able to check it, and they did it really nicely, but then the rest of them were just like, we'll wait till the doctor comes. And I was like, all right. So when the doctor finally came, she was really rough on me, and I mean like super rough, like crazy. So she checked me and said I was a 2. I was 2 centimeters dilated. So, that's fine. I was feeling it. I would feel the contractions. They weren't like uber painful or anything like that, but they were uncomfortable. I didn't feel like I needed any medicine or anything like that at that point. I don't think I had anything. After being checked over and over again, and then a nurse came in, and then this is when the horribleness starts. A nurse came in and apparently didn't either read my chart correctly or the wrong information was recorded, and she was not supposed to start me on Pitocin yet, but she did. So they gave me those 2 pills. Cervidil was one of them that they gave me, and then there was another one that they gave me as well. And so she started me on Pitocin, and I was only 1 centimeter dilated, or 2 centimeters dilated. She had me on the Pitocin for an hour when someone came in and said, why is she on Pitocin? She's not supposed to be on Pitocin yet. Take her off of it. So then they took me off of the Pitocin. Then we had to wait for that to leave my system for them to give me another Cervidil. So they gave me another Cervidil. And 6 hours later, it was softening up a little bit, but it wasn't working much. So now we're on to like middle of Tuesday. So I've been there a day now. And I wasn't like super anxious. I just kind of wanted to get the process moving along. It was just bad. So half a Tuesday, and I was in a lot of pain. Mostly just from the whole mix-up of the Pitocin and then giving me back the Cervidil. And the Cervidil does cause you to have contractions, and then the Pitocin obviously caused me to have contractions and more intense contractions. So I was just like, whoo, out of it. And so just exhausted. I didn't sleep at all. It was bad. So when, I think Tuesday night, I believe, when they came to check me again, I was still only dilated to 2, had all these pills given to me, had them mixed up with the Pitocin. When they went to check me, I did scream. I was not necessarily because it was so painful, but also because I was exhausted, I was tired, I was gone. I mentally wasn't really there. So they gave me a little bit of morphine, like a little bit of morphine. That was great for me. I think maybe I got an hour of sleep. That's it. Was back up, contractions all night long, still only dilated to a 2. I mean, oh my goodness, horrid. It was horrible. Finally, Wednesday afternoon, my cervix was totally soft. Everything was lining up correctly. I'm trying to remember now, because this is where when it starts to get intense, and I kind of tried to just mentally get rid of all this information. But they did start me on Pitocin, and it was horrible. Oh my gosh. When people said that, you know, there's contractions and then there's contractions on Pitocin, they're not kidding. And I was like, I'm going to try really hard to wait. I didn't want to, you know, I didn't mind getting an epidural, but I really wanted to wait until at least I was like 3 or 4, maybe 5 centimeters dilated, if not longer, if I could stand it. But I'd had a panic attack Tuesday afternoon to the point where they had to give me oxygen and just sit there and calm me down. I was crying because I didn't want to be there anymore. And I was scared, and yeah, it was really bad. So yeah, Wednesday afternoon, nighttime, contractions really sped up. I got an epidural. I was so scared to get the epidural. I was like, this is going to be so painful. Not even compared to anything I had already been through. So I was like, okay, this is fine. Epidural wore off a couple times throughout the night. I think it was 1 o'clock in the morning. They checked my cervix, and I was 4 centimeters dilated. And then I believe it was 3 or 4 in the morning they checked my cervix, and I was 7 centimeters dilated. So around somewhere between 4 and 5, I had also, 1 hour I dilated to 10. So 5, 6, 7, yeah, 5 o'clock, around 4:30 or 5, I had dilated to 10, and they wanted me to start pushing. So initially I just started, let me go get her, hold on. Okay, so around, around like 5, I started pushing, pushed for 3 hours. Doctor came in, when I had been pushing for 3 hours, and she goes, okay, we can't do this anymore. We're gonna have to give you an emergency C-section. And I was like, in my brain, thinking to myself, I've been pushing for 3 hours. I've been in labor, or, I've been here dilated for 3 days. I'm not getting a C-section. This is ridiculous. And so, sweetie, it's okay. So, anyways, she was born at 8 o'clock. And naturally, through me, no C-section. So as soon as the doctor left the room, I pushed her out, and the doctor comes running back in because the nurses start yelling. And they're like, come back in, and she said, stop pushing, and I was like, I'm not pushing. And then she just came out. So she was stuck on my pelvic bone. She got a bruise on the back of her head from being stuck on my pelvic. Sweetie. From being stuck there. It was very tender and very soft. So she's better now. Bruise is gone. So yeah, she was born at 8 o'clock in the morning on Thursday, May 24th. And then she had jaundice. So we stayed there until, I believe I was released on Sunday. So I was there for a whole week. Horrible. Absolutely horrible. Just ridiculous. The crazy things that happened. Someone came in, one of the nurses came in and said, what's your pain level? I said, oh, it's, like a 2 or 3. And she goes, okay, comes back and tries to give me a Percocet. I said, no, I'm breastfeeding and I really don't want to take that, so maybe a Motrin or something would be nice. She's like, oh, okay, I can get you a Motrin. And I was like, okay. So, just all these crazy things happened. They had her under the blue lights because her bilirubin was so high for the jaundice. And so, yeah, breastfeeding, I'm going to have to do a whole other update on that. But that's my labor and delivery story. We came home Sunday. We did have to go back to the hospital again, but I'll talk about that in a different video. So if you guys have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment box below, and thank you so much for watching.